Okay. Hmm. Okay. Never done this before, but we're going to start like this. I've been having this big burden on my heart about spreading the word of the gospel. Never been a minister, never preached to nobody. Don't know all about all that. But anyways, so I think I'm supposed to start. I feel like I need to start by saying that I had a history of being alcoholic, and on October 30th of 2016, I actually went to the nearest church and felt like I was lost and don't know why I led myself there, but I did, and I got saved. Believe it or not, saved. And don't get me wrong, I still have my ups and I have my downs and I got my valleys, and that I have struggles with, with certain things, just like everybody else. And as you can tell, I am not making this video high above riches of all riches, trying to make money or whatever. I'm not trying to advertise for a church. I just feel like I needed to tell you guys that no matter how big the churches are out there that makes all this money, bringing in all these big, you know, chandeliers and, I'm not talking bad about churches like that. I'm just trying to say that small town church from a small town of Blair, Oklahoma, is where I've got saved. I know this is written backwards when y'all see it, but it's the House of Prayer. It's located at 1070 Zen Street in Blair, Oklahoma. Anyways, my minister is Brother Joel McCoy. Awesome, guys. Awesome for us. But when I first got saved from this church, a minister, Ben Brock, was there, and he was amazing. So Brother Ben, if you ever see this, anyways, knew exactly what I needed to hear. I felt like everything that he said was towards me. I felt like he knew everything about me before I even walked in that church, and I'd never seen the guy in my life. But so he was preaching whenever I first went to that church and pulled me straight in. But I want to start out by saying why I felt like I needed to go there, because I think my testimony till today, I'm not perfect, but my testimony, I think, is what people need to hear. And I want to start this video by definitely telling you who I was, what I was doing, how I was living my life. Well, first of all, I am 35 years old and I have a very big family. I have 4 children that I actually delivered, and through marriages with an S at the end. But I actually have a total of 7 children that I've raised. And around this time, I was in a relationship that I assumed it was happy. I'm not saying it was all about my spouse. It was myself, because when it came down to spending time with our family and friends and etc., we couldn't do it without alcohol. Alcohol was the number one thing that made my day rotate. Without it, I thought, hey, I just find a way to go and get it. I didn't think I had a habit, first of all. No one really wants to admit they have habits. Well, until I didn't have habits. When I didn't have it and didn't have a way to get it, I realized I caught myself like counting pennies, borrowing money, and kind of thing, to find a way to get it. I never stole. I never hit that rock bottom, but to the point that I felt completely lost. I was angry, and anyways, I didn't know I needed it until I seen myself without it. And trust me, I did whatever it takes to make sure I didn't have to not have it. You know what I mean? And so I never knew until like later that I actually had a serious alcohol problem. I used to miss out on my kids' uh, parent-teacher conferences, ball games, and anything that involved the school. Or I wasn't there because from the time I woke up in the morning, I was already looking for a beer. from the time I went to sleep at night, people were already gathering when they got off of work. That's where they wanted to come. They wanted to come over here and they wanted to drink over here. So, they know where to find it because they know eventually we're going to have it. That's just it. So, I got to the point that I started drinking to the point that I wasn't getting up in the morning to go take my kids to school, which at the time I didn't think anything of it. But I had my older ones taking care of my younger ones. Like they were getting them ready for school and including getting themselves ready for school. And then they had to take them to school. They'll walk to school because we're like 3 blocks from the school. So they'll take them to school, bring them home from school. Then it got down to like, we'll make meals when we got around to it, and of course while I was cooking, I still had a beer next to my side. So the whole day involved around alcohol with me. And then it got to the point of the last 2 years of my relationship. This is 10-year relationship, guys. It was a really long relationship that I assumed we were really, really happy doing what we had to do to keep the family together until the last 2 years of my relationship. It got bad enough to the point that alcohol took over my life, that anger was involved a lot. I got cops called on me so many times because I was just acting crazy, fighting in my own house. My kids got to see it all the time. The cops were called to my household by sometimes from my children calling the cops, from the next door neighbors calling the cops. I was getting escorted away from my home. Well, I assumed it was my home, but I guess it wasn't. So I was told to leave the location many times. And I got to see my kids cry, when sometimes, if I just got a little rowdy with the cops, yeah, they'll put me in the cop car. I've been arrested 4, possibly 5 times for anger issues blended in with alcohol issues and etc. Not proud of saying it. That's who I was, and I was proud of it, because they're like, oh yeah, Marie's talking like she's tough. No, it's not about that. Back in the day, like I didn't even care. Like call the cops, I ain't even scared. But in reality of it, now that I am sober, it's because that actually the last time that I was told to leave my home was when my spouse decided he wasn't going to take me back because he was also drinking and partying and with everybody else. The thing is, he assumed that he can control his anger with while he drank, and I couldn't. So that caused a lot of problems in the relationship. So when I was told to leave, I left, and well, of course, intoxicated, thinking that's okay, it's whatever, I can do it, you know, knowing that I was going to get to come back because this is not the first time it happened. Like I said, it was like 3 times a week. Like the last year, it was like 3 times a week the cops were showing up. Like the cops already knew that what to expect when they got there. Like it was ridiculous. But I was told to leave, and when I tried to come back, my spouse said, "No, you're not coming back this time." And my whole world just came crashing down to me because I felt like, now what? Like he's not going to keep my kids from me, right? Like who would do that? But he did. Yeah, he decided to go ahead and take the children and keep my children from me. And I was told to stay away. Let's just say that. And I decided to live with my mother for, it was, to me, it was a short amount of time, but at the time I was living it, it was the longest journey of my life because it was just like, I was there for maybe a month, August. Yeah, a month. I was told to leave about August 12th, 2016. And, the whole month was horrible. And that's when I didn't have the alcohol. Mom wasn't going to let me drink. So I didn't have the alcohol and the whole world came crashing down me. I couldn't see my kids. My spouse didn't want to see me anymore. And it was just weeks after that. This is what you call love, guys. Weeks after that, his ex-wife decided to move in with my spouse in my home with my children. So not only things were getting crazier and crazier and harder for me trying to find a way to get my family back, but obviously they were moving on without me. So, October, like I said, it was August when I was told to leave, and about October the 30th of 2016, just about a month or so after that, I told myself that I was going to wake up in the morning and I seriously needed help. I needed somewhere to start. I needed someone. I know my family, my mom was there. She's really supportive, and my oldest daughter was with me. She was really supportive. And I remember telling my oldest daughter, a little bit before we fell asleep that night, and I said, you know what, I think I'm going to go to church in the morning. And don't get me wrong, she giggled about it, kind of smiled about it, and said, okay. She's really supportive, but she always, I also think she, since I've done this, route of trying to change things about myself and really never did it, I think she was just kind of like took it like, okay, this is one of mom's other theories that she's going to do, and I'm just going to shake my head and try to my best to support her if she does it or if she doesn't, it kind of thing. And I love her for that. But I did. I woke up the next morning and I realized it was 10 minutes till service was supposed to start. And I threw my hair up in a little bun. I changed my shirt. I didn't shower. I didn't do none of that. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't do none of that. I changed my shirt. I put my hair up in the rubber band and walked down to the nearest church, which happens to be a church that was I attended when I was younger. And that, which again, house of prayer, guys. So I was familiar with what the building looked like, but I haven't been there in years, so it's not like I was familiar with the people there anymore. And so I walked down to the nearest church, and service was already basically starting, and I just sat in the back row, kind of just listening to what people were saying and preaching about. And like I said, brother Ben Brock was the minister at the time, and I don't know if I didn't know the man. I couldn't see anybody familiar in here at the time, and so I knew that he just didn't point me out. Well, I didn't feel like, well, at the time I felt like he pointed me out, but everything he said just fit exactly how I was feeling. And all of a sudden, I just walked myself to the front where the altar was and poured my heart out and told God that, at first, I'm going to be honest with you. I went up there and told God, I want my family back. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get my family back. Just please, please give me my family back. You kind of thing. Throughout the time I started going, I realized that it wasn't about my family getting back. It was something about myself that I started thinking, well, maybe if I started bettering myself, maybe, my family would want me back. Maybe I'll be allowed to see my children again, kind of thing. And quit drinking was not even an option. Like, I was going to find a way to drink for sure. Even if I went to church or not, kind of thing, that it is what it is. But throughout the time, I just kept going and kept going and kept going. And don't get me wrong, all the services weren't about me, kind of thing. There's some service I went to and I didn't even relate to. Like, I have no idea what he's talking about, kind of thing. Okay, guys, real talk. I have been going there for a little over 2 years. And today I would love to say that my children go with me, kind of thing. It just throughout the time, I had no reason to live my life around alcohol. There was that point that I didn't even realize I haven't drank in weeks. Like, I didn't even think about it anymore. When I got to see my kids, I wanted to do things with them. Like, I wanted to spend my time to just say, you know what, thank you, God, for this opportunity. Like, and, it would just, I still get worked up about it because there was that time in life that I didn't think my life was ever going to get back together. Like, I was never seriously going to see my kids again. And I didn't realize how I took my kids on a daily basis for granted because I was so busy drinking all the time. And once I got to spend time with them sober, and nobody's, not even my spouse back in the day was like, if you quit drinking, you can see the kids. It wasn't like that. He just, seen it like as a punishment of me acting up all the time. He was going to keep them from me. So that was the top thing, till today. I would like to announce that, I am not perfect. kind of thing. But I made a lot of changes in my life that involve around my kids because, oh, y'all want to go to the movies? Fantastic. I got to have enough for all my kids. Hey, y'all want to go out to lunch? Guess what? Fantastic. I have to have enough for my kids. I try to do nothing without my children. Like I try to take them everywhere with me. If I'm not working, they're with me. Well, let's just say whenever I got kicked out of my home, I didn't have a license. I didn't have a driver's permit. Kind of thing. I didn't even get that far in life. Kind of thing. I didn't have a job. You know, dropped out of my, school back when I was younger, my sophomore year. So I had basically no education. Kind of thing. But I didn't know where to start. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a license. Like, even if I had a car, I didn't have a license. So it's not like I could just get up in my car and take off. I didn't have the money to get a car. I didn't have the money to put fuel in a car if I got to borrow a car. Like back in the beginning, I still didn't have a license to even drive the car. Kind of thing. So it just seems like everything was piling up on me because without that, I didn't even have transportation to even get a job to prove to the world that I can even better myself. I can't even take care of my kids. And that was thrown at me a lot from a lot of people. Like, how you expect to take care of your family if you can't even take care of yourself right now? You're living with your mom, like straight up. So, and don't get me wrong, I'm like, okay, I need to find a job, but everything just seemed like everything was in the way. Everything was in the way. Like, before I can get this done, I needed this. Kind of before I can get that done, I needed this. And all around, it did involve around money. Don't get me wrong, but but it seems like, how am I going to get a job if I didn't have a car? How am I supposed to get the car if I didn't have the job? So it was one of those situations, and I just kept breaking down, and I caught myself once or twice saying, God, just give me some slack here. Like, I'm really trying. Like, I'm really going to try. Like, if you can just help me get through this, I'll prove to you that I'm going to make changes not only for my children, but for you, for Jesus Christ himself. And guys, I am not lying to you. Like, I am not lying to you. Like, things started happening. And at first I was like, that was really weird. Like, that was weird, dude. Because I went to the altar and said, you know what? Give me my family back. Give me my family back. Whatever it was that I was trying to ask for. And then when I sat back down, a woman came up to me that I was familiar with, and I've seen her. This town is small, so I've seen her a few times, and she just happens to work at a convenience store, in Blair, where I live, and she recognized me, asked me to sit next to her after I got up, and she said, she's like, "What's going on? If you don't mind me asking." I just made a brief summary of it, and I said, "I just need to get off my feet, and I don't even know how to start." And she said, "Well, do you have a job?" And I said, "No, I don't have a job." And she said, "Well, you start tomorrow." You know, and Monica, I love you. Her name is Monica. She has her own testimony also about how she was in a rough place in life, and now she's been delivered and saved by Jesus Christ. And I wanted that. I wanted that so much. She said, just believe and believe and pray and believe. And guys, like just about a month ago, real talk, I moved already 3 times. I went from having nothing to an apartment complex. Just 2 months later, from that apartment complex to a rental house, and kind of thing. I lived about 2, 3 months in that rental house, and now I'm in the progress of buying my house. Another house, a different house. 3 times. So I was like on the move, on the move, on the move. Like, what's next, God? What's next? I went from one job, which is a temporary job, to 2 jobs in just a week's time. 3 jobs. I was working 3 jobs. I was like working all the time, and money was. I wasn't rich, kind of thing, but things started happening. That's all within the first year. That was happening, like week after week. Something that new was happening. The first month, actually, after I got saved, I got a permit. 30 days I have to wait. First time I took my test, I made it. You can I have a driver's license, with with my father's help. Juan Landa, guys, he is the bestest dad in the world. But so he, with his help, you know, your mom trying to help me with the kids while I was working. Delia Delon, that's my mommy. She has been there from the toppest, luck of my life to the bottomest luck of my life. She's seen me on my hands and knees many times crying, why, to the days that she sees me now. And instead of my hands and knees on the ground, because my knees are still, I'm still kneeling at our altar as much as I can, but my hands are up high because without God Himself, I wouldn't have seen this many changes. And without His help, I wouldn't have been in the places that I am been today. Like amazing, guys, like amazing. All my kids go to church with me. Every great once in a while, my ex spouse, goes with with us, and my mother attends church with us. And at first it was like, okay, I'm going to be the only one coming to this church. Nobody even going to know me. The house of prayer, guys. I'm just come from my heart. Like the people that know me, I ain't gonna sit here on YouTube trying to, make lies up because I ain't even it. I ain't gonna, no, I make myself look dumb up here. You kind of think the house of prayer, guys, they are my family. It's not a big church. People that are scared of big churches or 100 heads looking at you when you walk in those doors. I know, I've been there. I've been there. This is not it. This is not it. This is a small town church. Okay. And our good days, I don't know, 50, 75 people, varies, you know, and it's not all the time. There's just maybe 30 of us in there. And I love every one of those people from the time that I put a smile on my face, from the times I'm sitting there and you can tell I'm stressing about something. Brother Joel McCoy would get up there, would sit there, start preaching, and I just pour my heart out. And every time I feel brand new, like brand new, real talk. People think about AA meetings and, rehab centers, kind of thing. Monica, the one that offered me my job from the first day I even attended that church, she used to been addicted to drugs, and she'll sit there and admit to that. This is not people are like, oh yeah, she has a secret life. No, she tells people that's who I was. This is what I was doing. When she first told me, I wouldn't even expected it. She wears long skirts just like the rest of the church. Like, you just assume they're perfect. These people are perfect. And the longer I stayed there and it started testifying, they had problems just like me. Not might be the exactly same thing, but they had problems just like me. And they have their days just like me. And they can relate to me and I can relate to them, these people are my family. Like, I want to do more for God. I want to search more. The reason, right, I've been wanting to do this like since New Year's 2019, start something new. Don't just sit there and tell your family about your testimony. Let's do something big. Let's try to tell the people, anybody that clicks on this little site, let them know that God is real. Like, like real talk. Like, I've had dreams at people waking up in the next morning and says, I gotta contact them. I seriously have a feeling that I have to contact them. I contact these people, and one person told me, I'm glad, you checked on me. I just had a car accident yesterday, kind of thing. And I'm like, what? And another person, I could pick up the phone and says, you know what? I need to really call her. And I called her, kind of thing. And she just busts in tears and says, I need an encouraging word. Like, I can't move more forward. I can't get up. Kind of thing. I am hit rock bottom and I don't know where to start. Kind of thing. That's where I come in and say, you know what? God has been so good. And He's with you all the time. Like, all the time. The reason why today is January. Don't make me lying. January something. Jelly, what day is it? She's my help. 15th. I like to believe it's January 15th. January 15th of 2019. So I actually waited 15 days later before I made this video. And I'm kind of disappointed in myself because I really didn't know how to start this, but I'm glad I have 24 minutes and 58 seconds into it. But I know that a lot of people are not going to sit here and watch this whole thing, but I just want everyone to know that even my children, the reason why I really, really decided to do it today, my children the other day, they're always in that little children's choir thing, and we call it the booster band, for our church, and all the little kids will go up there and they'll sing these little cute little songs, and they love it. They love it. But the other day, I have an 8-year-old daughter and I have a 6-year-old daughter, and they actually asked, if they could get on stage, and actually sing, a song, and they've been practicing the song for quite a while, and of course the minister's wife, Sister Kim, she's like, Kimberly McCoy, uh, she said, yeah, we could practice it. They got pretty excited about it, and they finally got to them it's forever, but she was like, she told them one Sunday, and then the next Sunday she let them do it. But to them it was like the whole 7 days of waiting to see if they could get on stage to sing this song was the longest wait ever. But they got up there and did an amazing job, like amazing. My son, he's 4. His name is Omar. He goes when it's time to pray and kneel down, and everybody be kneeling down at the altars. He'll go to their backs and pats their backs and prays with them, and no one tells him to do that. He sees, I guess, the minister, brother Joel do it, and he just decided to do it one day. And once he noticed that no one stopped him from doing it, he just thought it was cool to do it. And now I seen him. I seen him, but I guess obviously everybody else seen him too. But he grabbed his dad's hand and actually took his dad to the altar, and told him, "Dad, it's time to pray." And that's an amazing feeling to know that someone's so small that knows right from wrong. He's 4. He jumps off the couches and kitchen tables. I'm not saying that he's a perfect kid. I'm just trying to say that that when it's time for church, he knows, what we do there. We worship God, and thank Jesus for everything that he has given us. And then my daughter's performing on stage, kind of thing. And my oldest daughter, Angelica, being at the altar, even though when she's the happiest of ever to the lowest that she's ever, she's a teen. So she's going to have those roller coaster moments. And I'm glad that whenever she got to go there, to church, at first she was like, okay, I'm not understanding why I'm here. But now it's like, we have to go. Like, that's something we work around our schedules. We go every Sunday morning, every Sunday evening, every Wednesday night, kind of thing, including, her schooling and their schooling and jobs and whatever else. We fit it in there. And I've never pictured myself 2 years ago saying, oh yeah, I'm going to have to make time for God, or, no. I was one of those people that everybody does it. We don't have to go to church. We don't have to go to church to believe in God. We don't have to go to church to worship him. I'm not against those people, but I'm going to tell you why I go, because I'm sitting here making this video. I could just worship him right here in this ghetto kitchen right here, kind of thing. I could do that, but I feel him there. Like, surrounded by your glory, one will my heart feel. Will I dance for you, Jesus? Or in all of you be still. That's my mom. But yes, guess that was my timing. I should just make the video a little shorter. But anyways, love you guys. God is with you all the time. I do believe in that. But I feel God when I go there. Like he's waiting there when we walk in. Like I feel his presence. And this past Sunday, OMG, okay? Like everybody was at altars. To me, it was revival. That was my revival. That's all I needed for everyone. Kind of thing, sitting there crying and worshiping and jumping, and Sister Katie being a teen, getting the Holy Ghost. And, I'm not sure how many times she's got the Holy Ghost, but it was amazing for me to see her go through it because that gives me hope. Like, I mean, everyone gets the Holy Ghost. I mean, to me, everyone does, but I've never got it and I want it. And it seems like every time I say that, I end up messing up somewhere or I end up slipping and saying something I'm not supposed to say. And people tell me all the time, well, Christians don't talk like that, or Christians don't say things like that to people. And even though I thought it was a joke, you're right. Maybe there's a lot of things I need to fix in myself still, and I'm not perfect. And maybe that's not why I haven't got the Holy Ghost. But I'm not going to sit here and come this far. You kind of think 2 years of going to this church feeling like it's my home, thinking I'm not going to be good enough. You kind of think because that means I have to try harder. And I want to. I want to do more. I want to try harder. I want my kids to know. I want them to look down at me like, oh yeah, look up at me, not down at me. Up at me and saying, oh yeah, mom did it. We can do it. And it's amazing because my son, Omar, he doesn't like school. He doesn't. He'll wake up in the morning and I said, okay, Omar, it's time to get ready. And he says, please tell me we're going to church. Please tell me we're going to church. I was like, it's Monday, son. You're going to school. And he'll sit there and cry, like cry. I have a video somewhere of him crying about why he don't want to go to church. And I have another video waking him up saying, Omar, get ready. And he says, please tell me we're going to church. I said, we're going to church. And oh, just jump up and I'll get on the bed and start jumping. Wake up his sisters. We're going to church. We're going to church. And every time I tell him to get ready, he's getting ready and kind of thing. That's whenever I pop myself on the collar, like, hey, because I feel like even though how many times I mess up and I keep falling and I keep falling and I keep falling, I know God is always with me to help me pick me back up because these little ones are watching me. And it's very, very important that I want them to know that I am not going to become that person I used to be. I'm not going to go back to living that lifestyle of partying and drinking from the time I wake up, from the time I go to bed, working, not working at all. Let's just say that. But, I'm not going to have that. I've came so far. God bring me so far. Not just to give it up. That's for sure. He's not going to bring me this far just to go back or to start over. I'm supposed to keep going and keep getting higher in life and do more. And I want to do more. And I want my kids to do more. And I'm so amazed because they made that first step already. They're not longer sitting in the seats no more. They're on stage, at the age of 8 and 6. And I'm still sitting. There's something wrong there. You know what I mean? If they're on stage and want to be on that stage, they want to do more for 2019. And I'm still sitting. I better get myself up. I better get up and start doing something. So I decided to make this video because I know that there's a lot of people that might hear it. There's a lot of people that might not hear it. There's a lot of people that might not even see it. You kind of think, but I'll feel better by trying to make this move because I want everyone to know that if you ever want to go to a small church with not a lot of people, and they're not going to sit here and judge you guys because I sit there and they know everything about me. Like every time I fall, I have the comfort of me standing up. And even though they tell me, you didn't have to really tell us that, we just got to pray about it. No, I'm not going to be fake either. I'm not going to be over there, sitting over there telling everybody, oh, yeah, I'm saved, I'm perfect. And the kind of thing, no. My church is not like that. This is my church, by the way. My church. Anyways, my church is not like that. Everybody has problems. Like that, y'all want to go to recovery centers and they lock you in some room or some padded room or something, you'll go on ahead. I don't know what goes on there. But I know my recovery center is here every time I fall. Yeah. Have I drank since then? Since I believed I got saved? Yes. They know. Yeah. Have I fallen since then and almost got arrested a couple of times? Yep. They know. They know. Kind of thing. How many times I sit there and cry at those altars? I say, God, please lift me up. Please forgive me. Please make me better. Please don't give up on me. I don't want God to give up on me because I'm human and I'm that's not an excuse, but I'm just saying that I don't realize I messed up until I already messed up. Like I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have done that. What was I doing there? How did I even think about even going there? You kind of think that's why I'm at those altars. I'm not there to make people feel sorry for me. I'm not there, to say, oh yeah, as long as they don't know none of their business. No, kind of thing. You can be one of those people. I'm not saying that you don't have to tell everybody everything, but I'm not that person. You know, and guess what? When I admit and I testify about where I was and what I've done, they don't sit there and stare at me and point. When I get up there to those altars and I cry my heart out, for forgiveness, again, everyone in my church supports me. They go up there and they pray with me and they cry with me. That, I don't even got aunts and uncles that do that with me. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, like, okay, here's Maria again, messing it up again. You know what I mean? That's because that's the way I was. Oh, I'll never do it again. My real family, they're like, how long you gonna stick with that? You know what I mean? But my church don't do that. My church don't do that. Blair, Oklahoma people, everybody, we invite everybody. I'll come and get you. Like, just hit me up, comment somewhere, wherever you're supposed to comment on these things. I'll come and get you. Let me know ahead of time. I'll come get you. Like, I don't even care. Like, I got family that live in different towns, and their excuse is that I don't have a ride. Well, if they wouldn't, they would have told me, I would have came and got them. They always tell me after the service. If that's an excuse, I understand. If that's really a reason why they didn't come, let me know. Let me know. I got 3 daughters and 1 son that serve the Lord also, and teenage girls out there. And I'm going to convince Angelica to probably do a video with me sometime in the future, if not her own channel. But her name is Angelica Lake. She's probably got her own. She has her own testimonies too. She's going through a trial right now that she just lost her grandmother, and the first place she went to let her heart is overwhelmed, but cry out is at that altar. And I'm not saying it's going to make everything better for her family. I'm not saying her family is not relived, but I'm trying to say, like, it's not going to bring her grandma back, but she's getting to the point that she's understanding it. And without God in my life, I wouldn't have been prepared to give her that speech about the Lord is calling her. That is an amazing thing. Like, I can't wait till the Lord calls me. My 6-year-old daughter, Selena, she told me the other day, I was so upset with her, but she's like, I can't wait till I die. Like, who says that? Kind of thing. She can't wait to die because it's going to be beautiful. And she said, it's going to be so beautiful, Mom. Like, everything there is going to be like, pretty colors and golden streets, and all the animals are going to be nice. And she just kept going on and on and on. That's amazing. Like, I didn't even think about that. Like, everybody's dreading to die. She's ready. She already told me. And she had her own trials too. She's been in and out of OU Medical Center, from a lot of things that she's been going through. And God, once and again, with prayer, without medication, that should be Selena's testimony. She is healed. Kind of thing. She doesn't have to go through any more specialists. So that was, God giving to us. And that's one of the reasons why I keep serving him, because all we got to do is pray about it and not give up. Have hope, have faith, have belief. It might not happen right now, kind of thing, but it's going to eventually happen. Like, God's timing is the best timing. Like, we all have to understand that. And when we're going through trials, because trust me, 2 years of wanting my family back, it might not be the same definition of my family back. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't necessarily mean living the old life again. Let me move back into my home with my family again. It might not work exactly that same way. It might work by saying, God, give me my family back. He slowly gave me the strength and the courage of bringing them into his home. And one by one, first it was Angelica, then I got my Adiciela and Selena. Kind of thing. Eventually, I got to bring Omar to the church, and eventually Long Jr. which is my oldest stepson. Kind of thing was going. Jasmine, which is my oldest, stepdaughter, was going. Long, which happens to be my spouse, was going. You kind of think everyone was going. Like, I didn't drop my guard. I didn't give up hope. Do they go all the time? No. You kind of think, does people judge them because they don't go all the time? No. As long as you feel like you need to be there, God is going to be waiting for you. Matter of fact, the people that don't think they need to go to church should always know that all it does takes is a little bit of prayer, and that's straight up. But the people that do that at home and pray at home, I would love for you to go to our church, just to go once. And I'm going to tell you, you might sit here in your car or your bathroom or your bedroom and sit there and say, God, please help me. Whenever you get done praying, you're like, you know what? I got to get this done. I got to get up on my feet. That's awesome. But sometimes you still feel sad for a while. You go in my church, I sit up there and you don't even have to go to the altar. Just sit where you're at and you pray where you're at the back row if you have to. I'm going to guarantee you, I promise you, you're going to wipe those tears off your face and you're going to feel like you can breathe. Like, so much stuff comes off my chest. I feel like I can breathe again. Like, okay, I'm okay. I got this. Day one, back over. Let's do this again. And the race is not over. Keep going. Keep lifting yourself up. Keep praying about it. I pray all the time. I feel like I don't pray enough. You kind of think, I wish I prayed more. You kind of think, but I don't pray enough. You know why? Because I feel like, just like some of you, I can sit here and pray about it at home, but I can't wait till Wednesday. Like, I can't wait till Wednesday. And I find out that we're canceled out service on Sunday night or something. What am I supposed to do? OMG, like, I feel lost. Like, I can't wait till Wednesday. Like, it's like the longest 3 days of my life, kind of thing. But I love it there. I'll be honest with you, I wish I had that feeling all the time. I know God's with us, but I don't feel like it. Like, going to see my dad. When I go to see my dad, I know I can go over to his house anytime I want. He lived right there. You know what I mean? But when I go and greet him, it's like when he wraps his arms around me, even if it's just like little, father-daughter tap. I feel that when I go to God's house. That little tap lets me know, I got you. I love you. That touch I feel there. I can go to my dad's house and it's going to be empty. That's how I feel like when I go to my house. And I go to my house and I pray about it. It's like going to my daddy's house and praying about it. Then I feel like there's nobody there. There ain't nobody listening. My dad ain't even here. I won't tell my dad how I feel. He ain't even here. But when I go to my dad's house and he's there, I don't even got to talk about it no more. Because my real dad, Landa, he can greet me. And if I start crying, he already knew there was something on my chest. He don't even got to ask me. And that's how I feel when I go to church. God don't even have to ask me. I go inside those doors and I start crying. It's because God already knew. He already knows. And the thing is, he already knows what's going to happen tomorrow. My daughter tells me that all the time. God only knows the future. God only knows the future. Yeah. Anyway. And she's right. It's true. He knows. And he's not going to sit there and put us through those valleys if he doesn't think that we can't get out at the top of that mountain. He's not going to put us there. And it's amazing because no one loves you more. Like, I have 2 baby daddies. For real talk. Have they hurt me? Yes. Did they still try to continue to find ways to hurt me? Yes. Did they try to bother me by saying little comments? Yes. You kind of think, I told my daughter this just the other day. How many times has so-and-so hurt me? Exactly. How many times has God hurt me? Never. How many times God let me down? Never. How many times did he, told me he was going to be there and not show up? Never. You kind of think, I could sit here and compare him to a real man. How many men we all had? A real man. And he's no other man that you ever believe. Like, he will make you feel love every time. No matter how many times you mess up. It's an amazing feeling, guys. I've been talking to 44 minutes and 23 seconds, and I still haven't realized that I've talked that long. But when you start to talk about God and experiences, how many of you today can sit there and talk about God in the same room with somebody and talk this long with joy. That is the challenge. This is 2019, guys. It's time to get up and prove to everyone that you might not be scared of spiders. Prove it. I might not be scared of snakes. Prove it. If you're not scared of God, prove it. You know, kind of thing, real talk. You know, kind of thing, go out there. Go in those doors. I'm not saying just because you ain't scared. You know, kind of thing. But if God was going to take me today, I want to be ready. I want to be ready. I want to do the right things that I need to do to make sure I make it to the other side. Okay? I have 2 boys that God already took from me. And my family, y'all know that. Kind of thing. I lost them both at birth. And at first, as a mother, I could tear up about it. Kind of thing back in my days, but I also drank about it. Sober, I can't wait to meet them again. I can't wait. That is my goal. I don't want to sit there and say, I don't have to go to church, Catherine, to go to heaven. When I get to the gates, God said, oh, you done everything fantastic, but you never came to visit me at my house. And I got to see my kids on the other side waving at me, and he gives me a parachute on the way down. Real talk. That's my luck. I don't know what heaven's going to do when I get there, or if I even make it there. Is there a boundary line between here and there that says if you're going to go with the elevator up or if you're going to elevator down? I don't know. Am I going to be sitting on this gorgeous bridge and God says, here's your parachute? I don't know. You kind of think, I just know that whatever it is, that when it's my time, I want to make sure I see my loved ones on the other side. I don't want to say, what if God is not going to judge us? And what if God says that we can do this but not this? And what if God says I can drink at home but not at the bar? You kind of think, I don't want to be one of those people that say, God's like, oh, I didn't really say it like that, so you don't get to make it. I know that there's that thin line of what if. But if I continue living my life of what if, I know exactly where that altar is. Every time I do slip, I want to make sure I'm going to go. And I'm confident right now. I feel like if we're ready, this is it. Today's the night. I want to be ready. So after I get off of here, I'm probably going to sit there in deep prayer because I want to make sure. I deliver the message out to y'all. Like I said, I'm from a ghetto town of Blair, Oklahoma, 73526, guys, if you ever try to find our location. House of Prayer, Brother Joel McCoy. If you ever try to contact us, I think Brother Joel's got a phone number on here that you can also try to find us, 580-318-7083, guys. Ever need a ride, let us know ahead of time. We'll come and get you. I just want everyone to know I'll be there. I'm just as lost as you are sometimes. My kids are there, all ages. 15-year-olds out there that you think you'll be the only teenager there. No, my daughter's 15. 8-year-old, 6-year-old girls. I got a 4-year-old boy. We got all the classes occupied, but fantastic for the kids to go to. Every one of y'all, all ages. Don't worry about a big population. Don't be scared about everybody staring at you, because like I said, we have about 50 people that go there on our good days. Revival is coming, and I feel like I don't want to miss it, and neither would you. So I love you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. My daughter said something about down below. So spread the word. Even if you don't like it, even if you don't subscribe it, view it. I just want you to know, hey, share it. We got to share it because jelly is in my light. Thank you. But share it because we're going to do definitely more. And this is my first video. It almost took about an hour talking, and I am so sorry it took me so long. I try to make another one. Maybe that's a little bit shorter, but that is my testimony. I came from nothing to still trying to work on my ghetto kitchen someday. Kind of things. Still ghetto, still basically having nothing, but I have my family, and I have God, and I have a job, and I have a house, and I have my license, and I have my car, and I can start listing everything again for another hour, but I'm not going to do that. I love you guys. Like I said, God is always with you in your car, your truck, your bathroom, or your bedroom, but there's no other feeling like going to his house. Go to his house. Start new. I'm not saying that you're going to change everything about yourself. I'm not asking you that. But I'm gonna let you know, little by little, you're gonna realize that you're starting to change things about yourself on your own. And you didn't even ask God. You weren't even planning it. That's what happened to me. Miracles happen. Anything is possible through Jesus Christ. We love you. Mwah. Maria Landa, House of Prayer, one more time. You can see it written backwards. Love you guys.